Welcome, and thank you for joining us for another beautifully blessed, peaceful, prosperous, productive, and phenomenally powerful night. We are your hosts, Tori the Barber, the one and only, the only one under the sun, and the man with the plan, the man, the myth, the legend. Not just 2024 code, this that 2025 code. Free will code.
What's happening? Thank you and welcome to another edition of the Free Will Podcast, where we create a community that normalizes growth. People like you and me, so we could be the best versions of ourselves. What's happening to? How you doing today, my boy?
Man, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling better. Listen, cool. We here, man. We in the building.
We made it, man. It's a blessing.
Where we made it to?
You know, I said, when I was 25, I would be a millionaire. I probably was talking about 2025. I'm gonna be a millionaire in 2025. That's what's gonna happen.
That's what declare it is, brother.
I declare it. Right. You know what I'm saying? You gotta manifest that thing. You know what I'm saying? It's 25 something. Maybe it's 25 mil, but whatever it is,
I was thinking
the
same thing. Maybe it's 25
mil. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes,
man,
sir.
How you doing
yes,
today,
sir.
bro? How you doing?
Man, I'm feeling great, man. The weather kind of getting to me, which you know, it's not a usual thing for me. So at first it was getting to me a little bit because I'm a G. You know what I'm saying? I don't get sick. God damn it. But hey. Yeah, man. So, but anyways, I'm feeling great, man. It don't stop me from moving around. You know, it got to be a real major excuse for me to be excused.
Major. Yeah, thanks.
You digging me? What's up with you, though, man? How was your day today?
My day today was a pretty easygoing day. It was a pretty smooth day today. You made it to work, made it to the gym, did a couple things today. And overall, today was really a pretty smooth day. It was another blessed day. You know what I'm saying? It was truly a really, really good day. Man, I feel really good about this year. And I say that because typically my mindset is, okay, we crossed over into 2025, right? You know, just 30 minutes ago, we was in 2024, like on actual New Year's. Like, I'm like, what's the difference? It's just the day after tomorrow, or day after yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just another day, right? But, you know, this time around, I'm taking the advantage of the energy of bringing in the new year, using that as a reason to reset my mind. Like, this is the new calendar year. This is a pivotal point. So I'm just pretty much taking it as if it's a pivotal point, and I'm giving myself permission. To make changes, to be motivated, to embrace this new calendar year and make some changes. So the way that I measure this year, I can compare it to last year and just see all the phenomenal growth. So that's how I'm feeling about this upcoming year. Cole, how you feeling about the new year, dog? This the first, you know what I'm saying, episode of the new year. So how you feeling this year, man? So far, I'm
feeling good, man. I was actually thinking about that yesterday. Like, you know, it is a feeling of refreshment. Like, go ahead, use that. Like, I allowed myself to use 2025 as me having a clean slate, right? You know what I'm saying? It's a new year, right? It's a new method of measurement, higher standards. And you know, you get a brand new year to start off, a fresh year full of fresh days, fresh months. You know what I mean? And you know, if you didn't release things like you were supposed to do on a daily, right? Go ahead and release it now, right? And then we'll go ahead on and measure. And I actually did that. I like, what happened to me? I took some notes, right? I'm like, what did I learn last year? And like, you know, just like, what progress did I make last year and stuff like that, you know? Now, I was much more consistent than I was like in 2023. And that's probably what I'm most proud of, even though wasn't as consistent as I wanted to be. You know, with a lot of things, I kind of stayed consistent, with rebound times being quicker than they usually are, you know what I'm saying? So I looked at that and I took that and I counted that as a point, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, clean slate for me, bro. We got a whole nother set of days to show up and show out. You know,
I like that you said that you kind of compared the year that we just left to the year before that, and then you highlighted some of the things that you're most proud of, like the changes, the growth in different areas and different things like that. And I would just say, in a kind of like a general sense for myself, I would say that I've matured and grown a lot over this past year in
I'd
comparison
agree.
to the previous year, like mindset wise, mentality wise, and I would say really embracing what we talk about on the podcast and really implementing it. And it's not, I mean, there's no perfect moment. You know what I'm saying? There's no ever really a perfect moment. You know, I noticed that there are times where things take place and then the light switch come on and it's time to practice what you preach. You know what I'm saying? Before you know it, you find yourself in the middle of a situation. So I would say that's one of the things that I'm most proud of, man, just having this as a reference to hold myself accountable to. I don't think and then we was on Instagram at the time, but we're elevating. So, you know, that's just something that I can say that I can realize that I made a change last year from the previous year. Yep.
Yeah, man. That's what's up, bros. Man, I'm grateful, too.
Come on now. What you grateful for, Coach?
Listen, I'm grateful. Something tragic happened on New Year's night. And it's just, you know, could have been, couldn't have been anybody, but it could have been most people. You know what I'm saying? You never know. You know, some tragic happened. A lot of people died, and I'm just blessed to even be here. You know, I'm blessed to not have gotten a call saying there was any of my family members. You know, I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for God. You know, He, you know, that's my rubric. That's my instruction manual. That's my mentor. That's my, you know, that's my guideline. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate Him. All praise to Him. Appreciate my lady. Listen, I've been in bliss. You know, every day is a good day for me. You know what I'm saying? I could have. I could have lost a couple of fingers. I still would have been having a great day. You know what I mean? So, my girl been down here with me. I've been spending almost every day with her.
Yes, Lord.
And she leaves Sunday. And so, you know, I'm grateful though, man. I'm not really upset that she's leaving. She's gonna come back. She'll be back in February again, right? But I'm blessed. You know, she could have came down. I could have only had 2 or 3 days with her. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So grateful for that. Grateful for all my basic necessities, all my needs. I got food, water. You know, I got a bed to sleep at, a house to sleep at, a car to drive. I'm extremely blessed, man. What about you, man? What you grateful for?
Oh man, all praises to the Most High. To the Most High.
Most hard.
I ain't mean that. That's a holy pause right there.
He got out. No. That's hard also mean fire. Mean tight. You know what I'm saying? The most hard is out here. And you know what I'm saying? I didn't switch it up for you.
my man, 100 grand. All praises to the Most High, man. I'm thankful for God first and foremost, man. I'm thankful for God because none of this is possible without God. Through Him, through His power, His mercy. I'm so appreciative and gracious for that. To be here with you again for another episode, Cole. I'm thankful for you. And I'm just grateful that God was able to provide this moment for us to exercise our experience in life through this platform, man. I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for my first lady, man. I'm thankful for her in so many ways, forms, and facets that we are still here in the game.
Better make some noise.
Thriving, man, and making it happen. For another year, I mean, I wouldn't have wanted to bring the year in with anybody else other than that woman right there. So I'm thankful for her. I'm thankful for my wonderful children, Caitlin and Vay, man. You know, just man, I'm gonna tell you like this, dog. You know, growing as a parent, it's always something that you feel like you could be doing better. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's personally, so that you could be an example for them, but then also too in parenthood. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just thankful for that experience, for this experience. I'm thankful that I'm aware of, you know, just things that I need to grow in and be better in. And I'm just thankful for the challenge in life of, you know, and the honor and the privilege of being so. Thankful for my living parents, man. I got 2 living parents, and Again, everybody can't say that, but I'm thankful for that opportunity to have that. And also to my wonderful clients, I appreciate y'all because y'all are also a huge part. Just like everybody I include in my support system, y'all are part of my support system. I come on here as Tori the Barber every day, every week, every year. So it's only right that I put y'all on the stage with your boy. You dig? Man, cool. I'm thankful to be here in 2025, man. Me and my lady brought the year in. We went to church. It's my first time going to church and bringing in a new year. So I'm super duper grateful to have that experience. And she brought to my attention earlier that we were actually featured on the New Year's recap that on the church on the church social media platform. You know, they do like a recap of, you know, going to 2024 and all that kind of stuff. And we made the recap. So we live, you know what I'm saying? We out there, we in the world, it's stamped. And I'm proud of that moment too. I'm just happy to be a part of that moment. And yeah, man, that was real dope, man. I'm happy I had that experience, cool. Yeah, how was your New Year, man? Like, tell the people how your New Year was. I think you touched on it a little bit, but just tell me about how your New Year's experience bringing in the New Year. How was that for you?
Yeah, it was pretty cool, man. My father was down here for New Year's, so it was me, my lady, my father, and some of my aunties. We caught it at Algiers Point. We almost ain't make it, but we made it there. Caught the fireworks, brought it. So I got to. I don't know when the last time I brought a New Year with my dad. And I had my little brothers and my sister with me. You know, so I had some love and some energy around me. You know, so Absolutely. it was amazing. After that, I bought everybody some funnel cakes. And we sat there and ate some sugar. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So it was awesome, man. I'm grateful. I wouldn't have had it any other way. And I call it to be divine because I didn't know how I was gonna celebrate that night. I didn't know what was gonna happen. I didn't even know he was coming down there. I just it's so many things to do as well, man. Everybody like, man, come over here. Oh man, I love to have you over here. Come over here. And somebody had to be disappointed, but everything worked out how it was supposed to work out. Sure. So I was excited about that.
Man, I love that. I love to hear that, man. We glad you had a phenomenal introduction into the brand new year, and you was able to bring it in that way. Also, too, if I can, before we get into the next part, just to throw this out here. You remember I told y'all that I was doing the all juice fast, juice fast
How'd
into
that go?
The new year. Listen, I crushed that thing. 100%. I mean, the temptation was very, very minimal. I didn't have a whole bunch of hunger pains or nothing like that. I had my little moments, but I just drank the juice or I just drank some water in between. But man, 3 days, no food, all juice. It was a real dope experience. It was all the way dope up until the clock struck 12. Now, when the clock struck 12, I broke my fast with a little salad and stuff like that, a couple of crackers and stuff like that. And then I had a slice of apple pie.
See? And then
best
apple pie you ever had in your life.
I wound up coming home and eating some black-eyed peas and rice. And then after that, it's really where I think I messed myself up. Then after that, I had a plant-based chicken sandwich. But I said I'm going to get away from all that plant-based stuff because it's plant-based. It's not really from the ground plant-based, if you know what I mean.
Right.
And so... after I ate that, man, I wound up going to sleep about 30 minutes later, and man, I woke up out my sleep. I was so uncomfortable, bro. Like my whole listen, I don't want to say this. I don't mean to say this in a joking way. I'm serious, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I felt like it was the beginning of the end for me. I just felt so bad, dog. Like I feel like I had to throw up. I got lightheaded. Like it was ridiculous. Like I've only felt that way one other time in my life. And it was when I would say I had like a real bad cold, and I kind of over medicated myself in the sense, not like I'm a substance abuse, I gotta say it like that. And I had those very same symptoms, and it was very, very crazy and strange for me. And I feel like I needed to throw it up, and I wound up not. But nonetheless, that was my experience with the fasting. And I know when you come off a fast, you have to be careful and wean yourself back on food because your digestive system hasn't been working in the last few days. So you got to be very, very careful and be gentle with your body when you introduce food to your body again. And that was a very crazy experience. But now I know better for the next time. But the experience was dope. I lost some weight across those 3 days, so I'm happy for that. And the benefits, I feel good. My vitality is up. I feel strong.
Yeah.
But I can say, after that experience, I can say that my stomach has been kind of sensitive when I eat. I kind of like my body is just different. Like it's only been 3 days on the fast, but it's like every time I eat something, it's like it's like it's weird. I haven't really been feeling food lately since coming off that fast, but it's just probably because I've been astringent my system of all the stuff that I've been putting in it over this time. Because I went to all the same unhealthy stuff that I was doing before I went on the fast.
Yeah.
But yeah,
man, that's my only thing with like challenges, right? You know, because we gotta ask ourselves why we actually do these challenges. Because you know, afterwards, if we do the challenge and after we do the challenge, we go back to what we were doing. Yeah. It's like, why did we actually do the challenge? Was it just to complete something? Was it just to show that we can complete it? What was it, right? And so, you know, me and you were talking not too long ago, and we were like, you know, when you do something, I think the hard part of us staying consistent is the thought that, wow, I have to, in order to really get something from this, I have to do it for life. You know, and you know, that kind of, I think we get caught up in the challenges because we, you know, it's like after, you know, like just like after that, you like, okay, the challenge is over. My reasoning for doing what I was doing is gone. So you really just went back to, you know what I'm saying? It just went back to normal, right?
Yeah.
You know, and that's just, you know, I think so to go into any other challenges, you know, when we do them, let's try to see what we can take out of it. You know, let's take something that maybe we don't go as hard as we do the juice fast for the rest of our life. You know what I mean? But, you know, maybe, you know, now like you know, your body's really forcing you to eat differently now, you know? So maybe every once in a while we do the, whatever we were doing, you know what I'm saying? Weekly or monthly or something like that, you know?
Yeah,
so that we can keep it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah, man. So, hey, listen, I think now's the time, too.
Nah, definitely.
I think now's the time. Yeah. Turn the lights off, light the candles. You know, turn off the TVs, close the windows, shut the blinds,
lock the doors,
bow your heads, and let's give a moment of silence for our brand new subscribers and the ones that get post notifications. Yes, Lord. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Make sure it has a D at the end. Make sure that like button is filled up to the top with love and appreciation. We appreciate you guys, and we hope you appreciate the content that we put out constantly every Friday at 8:30 p.m.
Yes, Lord.
You digging me?
Now look, Cole, real quick, before we move on to the next thing, along with this moment of silence, I want to extend this moment to send our thoughts and prayers from the Free Will family, the Free Will community.
For sure.
That devastation, what is labeled as is now being labeled as a terrorist attack in New Orleans on New Year's Day. And you know, for those who know the story, they know the story. For those who don't know the story, in very, very short, there was you know, a guy, I guess he had murder on his mind. And he like Cole was telling me earlier, he had placed some explosion points around the city, and those failed. But his backup plan was to actually do what he did, and that was use his vehicle, his truck, to take the lives of as many people as he could. And he also had an initiative to, you know, shoot people up after he ran into the people. He got out and started shooting people. But you know, the police officers that was on duty in the area was able to kind of cease that rampage before it got even more out of hand. But unfortunately, there was about 10 people. I heard 12, but so I'll just say 10 to 12 people who actually lost their lives, and about 35 or so people.
It's been raised to 15 now.
Okay, so those who was injured, some lost their lives, didn't make it through.
Yeah,
I'm assuming. Okay, so yeah, unfortunately, the number did climb, and so about 15 people lost their lives, and hopefully no more than that. and that I guess that bring that injury list down, that number down a little bit because some of them didn't make it through. So our thoughts and prayers to those families. And I appreciate everybody who like I have some clients and stuff reached out to me like, hey, Tori, you
Yeah,
good?
for
There
sure.
wasn't none of your family out there and that, out there and stuff like that. Y'all good, and I appreciate that. The concern and the people who checked in and different things like that. And so, man,
For
like
sure.
again, thoughts and prayers to that in a moment of silence for them and their loved ones and their lost ones. So, yes, sir.
Yes, sir, man. Tragic. All right. Without further ado,
Let's drop that word on the street. Word on the street. Word on the street.
39-year-old Brian Clegg said he has struggled with his weight his whole life. As his heaviest, he weighed 409 pounds and endured significant pain just walking around, describing himself as a stress eater who would often relegate meals times to a bag of fast food or sugary snacks. But years of suffering from the consequences of overeating, a poor diet, and a sedentary life couldn't compare to the disappointment he felt last year on a trip to Coney Island when he was told he could not get on a roller coaster because of his massive size. This year, Brian made it his mission to shed the weight, and has lost 135 pounds in 11 months, mostly by cutting out sugar and fast food, and even starting an exercise program at the gym, even though it was just 5 minutes per day. I couldn't live life, said the native of New Windsor, New York. I had things that I wanted to accomplish, but I was wondering how I was going to live. I started going to the gym 3 times a week. I was only able to do the Stairmaster for 5 minutes on level 1. In the last 11 months, Clegg has gone from wearing a quadruple XL shirts to double XL, from a 52-inch waist to 42 inches, and from 5 minutes at level 1 to 1 hour on level 10 on the Stairmaster. He was even able to fulfill his dream of getting on a roller coaster at Coney Island in October 2024.
Good Lord, man. Man, listen. Listen, y'all, let's make some noise for this man.
Mr. Brian Clegg.
Mr. Brian Clegg.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sometimes it is the fact that we have not found what makes us tick yet. That was probably very, very embarrassing for him, that experience that he had. And it was enough. It was enough to carry him all the way through, right? And, I think sometimes that's what we need, right? And also there's 2 parts to that. It's a reason, it's the why, and it's the how you respond to the why. Are you going to fight or are you going to flight? Mr. Clegg chose to fight. He chose to fight, and and listen, the thing that stands out to me the most was that he changed his diet, biggest thing, right? Gotta change the diet, right? And that probably the most hardest thing for me, is the food. But the guy started with just 5 minutes of exercise a day.
Yes.
5 minutes. Yes. We talking about like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I go to the gym, like, man, I gotta go for 30 minutes. Just do something. Like, something beats nothing any day, right? Yeah. And that's just, that stood out to me, because I was talking to AI one time. AI just go ahead and do like 10 minutes a day or whatever. I'm like, 10 minutes? AI, we don't do nothing less than 30. You know what I mean? But then after that, literally the next day after I had that conversation, I didn't go work out because I didn't have 30 minutes to work out.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? So and it hit me that day, and I'm like, okay, cool, do something.
Thanks.
Right? Don't break the consistency you have, man. So that's fire, man. It's a major testament to what you can do if you just don't give up. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, man. So I would like to say hats off to my man for making a decision to change, you know what I'm saying, to start over from where he was at. You know what I'm saying? He can't delete all of the times that he chose to fall into his cravings and those bad habits and different things like that. But he decided to make a change. He decided to get on a new trajectory in life, and he found purpose and he found meaning. Man, if I could, Cole. if I could use this moment to kind of like open up with the topic that we're gonna be speaking on.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's
Go
a
ahead,
ladder.
man.
It's kind of like a ladder situation. So over the past month of December, starting in November, late November to December, in church, my pastor have this segment that he's been running all throughout December, and it's titled I Choose. And there was about 4 or 5 different I chooses that went on throughout the course of the month. But the last one, the one that we used to kind of bring in New Year, was I choose. I choose to live. And I think that was the perfect it's a perfect example, and it was illustrated through the word on the street tonight that we reading on, that we speaking on, because literally my man was a literal walking health hazard. You know what I'm saying? Like his life, his thought process, his habits, it was hazardous to his life, and he made a choice to live. And so that's why I'm so proud of the fact that he turned it around, because once you I watch the shows, you know what I'm saying, 500 pounds and whatever, and they got people who, yeah, man, and they got people who literally can't even use the bathroom. They gotta use the bathroom where they at, because they can't even get up and walk no more. And man, he literally stopped that train dead in his tracks, and he turned around and he said, I choose to live. And that's what that example was, Cole. And so what it turned into is what we talking about tonight. Tonight we're talking about letting go. That is the focal point for the discussion tonight. And the reason why I wanted to use that example to bring in this is because literally the way of life that man was living, on the word on the street, he chose to let go. He chose to let go of those habits. He chose to let go of, that self-image, that self-doubt, the low credibility that he had. The rejection. It's not easy. The rejection. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's a big one, Cole, because, I can imagine how many people have wanted to go to the gym and then told themselves, your fat ass can't go to, what you look like going to the gym? And they just tore themselves down. You know what I'm saying? Like you'll tear yourself down before you do what's best for you or take that step in the right direction. And that is also to a choice, but he let go of all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, man, Mr. Cole, like when it comes down to this topic, because we have Mr. Cole to thank for this topic, what was your thought process, and even this being a focal point or a topic that we was going to discuss today? Like, what motivated this topic?
I was talking to my lady, man, and we were talking about some things. And I also had a segment in church as well, right, where we were talking about the source of many of our frustrations, the most of the time, 80% of the time, your frustration comes from a lack of progress, right? Or, you sitting in one spot and, kind of just wanting to be somewhere else, right?
For sure.
And, that kind of resonated with me, because it's almost like, there was an analogy that he presented, my pastor, and he was like, it's almost like you're holding on, like you're trying to reach forward, but you're still holding on to what's in the past.
Absolutely.
Right? And you can't even reach what's in the future. It's like, okay, like you just said, like, hey, I want to go work out. Oh, bro, you can't work out. You're reaching back. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I want to be a better person. Oh, you ain't never been a better person. Oh, I'm reaching back.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? And those thoughts are killing us, right? And that brings me kind of to my thing, right? The hardest thing for me to let go was just that, like the old me, right? Like I always been a Cole that was slow, or, I couldn't figure things out, or I'm forgetting, or, I'm not the, I'm not the cool kid, or whatever it was that I the image of myself that I had growing up. Like I held on to that for a long time. I'm the loner, I don't need nobody. Like that was me. You know what I'm saying? And I couldn't I had dreams and aspirations for myself, and I let a lot of that. I talked myself out of a lot of situations. I didn't even need bad friends. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
I didn't even need the devil on the shoulder, or maybe perhaps the devil on the shoulder was my past talking to me. You know, however you want to put it. You know, that was me. You know, and it wasn't until I kind of I started to release the past and release like those we call like those labels that I had on myself. It wasn't until I released those, you know, when I started to, you know what I'm saying, go forward or be able to accept other labels that I want. You know, like it ain't really about like we also talk about the destiny thing, right? But like it's not really about that either. You know what I'm saying? Like you choose what you want. And I believe your destiny flows through you. So what you want is part of your destiny. You know what I'm saying? But what about you, man? What's something that something that you hold on to or you held on to that was really hard for you to let go, man, that held you back? You know what I'm saying?
If I could, let me see. I like what you said in your example. I like the illustration that you gave. I like the example of, you know, in order for you to become who you are today and evolve into who you are today, you have to choose to let go of, you know, like the former part of yourself. And in so many ways, I can agree with that. Something that I had to let go was, I guess it was somewhat of an identity thing also. You know, it was a lot of it is more so internal, and along with it being internal, it's those silent thoughts, it's those thought processes, it's the doubt. You know what I'm saying? It's the imposter syndrome that you experience, and I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Like I'm still finding my way through letting that go. You know, I'm still finding my way to letting that go, and I don't want to say like my New Year's resolution, but part of my focus point and something that I plan to evolve in is also it's kind of like running through walls. Like my goal this year is to just run through the walls, man. Like I was listening to Myron Golden, and I've been on listening to Myron heavy lately, and something that he said was what was it that he said? I had it and I lost it just that fast.
Yeah, be like that.
I listened to Myron Golden, and it was I think ultimately the point of it was, well, I can't tell you what the ultimate point was because I kind of forgot the whole thing.
Right.
But it all tied into letting go and elevating. And one thing I know for sure is that you know, that fear and doubt and God, they can't occupy the same space at the same time. So it's like either you're gonna believe that you can do it or you can't. But you gotta, it's one or the other. And so that kind of brought me back what Myron said. I kind of remembered. It was like the video that I was listening was factored around why I don't give up when it's not working. And he went into that whole conversation of why he don't give up when it's not working. And he said, just because it's not working now, he said, I keep going if what I'm supposed to get out of it is greater than, if it serves me more than what I'm gonna get out of it if I quit. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, I may have not figured it out yet. Maybe I haven't produced those results that I want to produce yet. But I know for a fact that if and when I achieve this goal, my life will be better in multiple ways than one. But if I quit and I stop, then I will never get to experience that level of life. And so that's something that I'm focusing on, and that's something that I'm working on letting go. Getting out of my head with the ideas of how do I achieve this thing and how do I accomplish this thing when I don't have all the answers. But letting go of that thought, that idea, that dream or goal before I exhaust all possible outcomes or all possible resources. But one thing about God, he has untapped potential. He has the untapped ability to where like whatever you want to do is possible just as long as you believe you can do it. God will never quit on you he'll never quit on you on your journey. That's up to you to do. And so I realized that that's up for me to do. And so for me, that's something that I'm focused on. And I don't want to. One thing I'm gonna watch out for, y'all. I'm gonna watch out for starting too many fires at one time. I wanna kind of like choose something, focus on it, and then run through the wall until I get it popping, and to where that fire can last on its own, and it don't need me to necessarily. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because what you're doing is you're overwhelming yourself. And I think the first thing that came from me was belief, right? And you know me, like I'm like, okay, once the first whatever dose of belief I had, I'm like, okay, I can do anything. So I started doing anything and everything, which started to make it feel unrealistic to me, because I'm trying to knock everything down. And it's a struggle. And I'm like, man, this is hard. I can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not, and you're right. You can't do all these things at once. It don't work like that, right? Mm-hmm. And so, but let's focus on the belief thing though, right? Like, I didn't really believe I can be more than who I was. I didn't think that was possible. Like, I seen people grow up and they're the same way. Like, I didn't know that I can do that. You know, it wasn't until I started seeing some of these stories of people, like, and seeing where they came from, and it's like, yo, if he could, like, my man's had it worse than me. You know what I'm saying? So if he had it worse than me, like, I grew up with both parents. I grew up with, I'm sorry, I was making sure my grandma was good. She had called me.
Oh, no, good.
Okay, cool. She good. So once I got the, what was that? What did I say last? The belief. I was at belief, and then,
well, you said you had to believe that you could do it. You were saying like your environment, like you didn't really have the examples, or like you didn't think you could do those things. Yeah. Right.
I had moms and pops. You know what I'm saying? I was good. I had shoes. I had clothes. I wasn't funky. You know what I'm saying? I ain't had to go through any of that stuff. Right. The worst thing I had was the mental abuse that I was getting from the world. You know what I mean? Like this is the standard and you below the standard. And the standard ain't even the standard don't even get you nowhere. I'm talking about the Instagram standard. It been there. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you supposed to be this cool. You supposed to come to school with these Jordans on, with the khaki pants the khaki pants the slim fit khaki pants. You know what I'm saying? Don't have the ones that the what they call the loose fits. You know what I'm saying? Walking through with the loose fits, right? So I stayed the loose fit until I got them khaki pants and people start treating me different. Okay. I could be different now. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about, it was crazy, right? And as small as that was, it gave me some hope. Like, you know, I used to kind of fall into that, right? And my middle school years, right? I was like, I wasn't a cool kid, right? You know what I'm saying? I didn't get bullied necessarily, but I was the victim a couple of times, right? You know what I'm saying? Because I allowed myself to be a victim, right? But the moment I started to change, right? You know what I'm saying? The moment I started to accept new things, like I started moving different, right? You know, so moreover, right, the first thing that you got to do is believe that you don't got to be the same you that you was. And don't let nobody tell you that you have to be that same you. Like, you could be anybody you want to be, no matter what you like in the Bible, like who that was David, right? That committed murder, like was murdered. Somebody in the Bible, was murdering people, and still was forgiven after that. Now, I'm not saying go cut up. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying go do that. But I'm saying don't be so conceited in your sin or the things that you did. You know what I mean? Like that's too much for you to go to the other side. Like never feel like you did so much to where you can never come back, right? So that's the first thing, man. Like, you know, believing. What you think about that?
Oh man, that belief is huge. I was, you know, as you was explaining what you was explaining and you was wrapping it up, I was thinking about belief. And man, you know, be on several occasions we talked about having like that spiritual backup. You know what I'm saying? Like from a spiritual standpoint. And having something to believe in, like whether it be a higher power or what have you, having that to believe in, because honestly, you know, left up to our own thought processes, left up to our own will, left up to our own, you know, habits and our own capabilities, you know what I'm saying, we are destined to fail and fall at some point in time. And sometimes we not strong enough to catch ourselves or to redeem ourselves or what have you. We gotta know, like, I don't know not one person who've ever necessarily done something wrong or that was bad enough and then they didn't want some type of forgiveness for that thing that they did. Now, who do you want forgiveness from? You see what I'm saying? It could be from the victim, it could be from God, it could be from somebody. But we all, I think, innately have something, or we want to believe in something bigger than ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And I do believe that that's out there. And so for me, like I can say to what you were saying, Cole, part of my journey in this year is strengthening my belief system and getting answers to some things that I have question marks, unanswered questions to. But to what you were saying, Cole, man, I just think that belief is extremely important. But there, I think, is only so much that we can believe in ourselves to actually move the needle, if you will, so far.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And so when we kind of have that spiritual backbone, if you will, or have something deeper to believe in, or believe that we have that backup, it's kind of like I can see that being foundational in helping us, you know, achieve things that we want to achieve and moving the needle and just getting things done. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think belief is extremely important.
Yeah. I think that next step, man, is once you believe, just kind of think about who you want to be. Like I wanted to be able to be inside of any room, you know, like that's how I wanted to be. I wanted to be personable. I wanted to be able to have a conversation with anybody. And I wanted this kind of cool swag about me. I wanted to be, I don't know, just like as a kid, like I just wanted to be cool. Like, you know, I wanted to not necessarily dress like, at first it came with the dressing. Like I wanted the clothes. I wanted to be able to dress up with my, you know, my clothes and stuff like that. And now I don't even, like, I rarely ever wear tennis shoes and stuff because my cool is different now. Like I like to wear the, you know, I got what I have on now, you know what I'm saying? Cause it's cold outside, but like normally you'll see me in some dress shoes, a nice polo, nice button down and stuff. That's my new cool. That's how I view myself. I view myself as a businessman. You know, it switched. It switched at some point, right? And I had to change up my vocabulary. I had to pronunciate my words, and that's something I'm still working on. You know, but I had to practice being that, right? So, but before that, I look at my vision of myself, like who do I want to be, and like get deep with it, right? Like I take a lot from people, right? Like from people who I look up to. Right, like I got a little Kevin Hart in me. I got a little Denzel in me. You know what I'm saying? I even have, like, I might have a little toe in me. Like people who I love, I kind of absorb those traits. You know what I'm saying? And that all makes me who I am, right? And I'm hyper focused about it. Like I don't like how I said that, or I don't like how I smiled when I did. Like I'd rather smile after. Like it gets that deep, right? Like mold you down to the bristle. You know what I mean? So you can be happy about yourself. Like there's nothing about you that you shouldn't be unhappy about. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like I can change anything about myself, right? You know, so I think that like figure out who you, after you believe, figure out what you want to look like.
Okay. I like that, Cub. If I can extend that to that point that you were just speaking on, something that came to my mind too is like know who you want to be and why you want to be. That, or you want to be that.
The wise.
You said like for like the example you gave for instance, you said like I want to Like even, when I smile, I want to smile after opposed to smiling before or what have you, right? Something that came into my mind was being mindful of the why, like why you want these certain changes, because I can see how having a lack of self-acceptance can make someone want to over critically alter themselves. And when you mention cool, like this is my new cool, for example, you like anybody, we choose how we want to present ourselves to the world. And you can pick up different styles and things as you go, and that's totally fine if you like it, right? That's the big thing, if you like it. And then I think doing it because you like it and then attracting people that way is healthier than doing what is popular
doing it because they like it.
In order to fit in somewhere. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And to be approved by somebody. So one time I questioned my outfit one day. I was wondering, I was like, kind of set in my head about this, that, and the third, and I had asked for advice on what I was wearing, and I was told, look, long as you like what you got going on, that's all that matters. It don't matter who like it or who don't like it, as long as you like it. And we've seen people, we were like, I don't know why he got that jacket on with them shoes, or I don't know why he put that shirt on, or why would you even wear a hat with that outfit? But listen, if that's what that man wanted to wear, or that's what that lady wanted to wear, then that's what they wanted to wear, because that's their version of they cool, and they felt good wearing it. So let's let them do what they gotta do. So I think that part, I have to get carried away, just being mindful of when you are making these changes to yourself. Make sure you know why you're making these changes to yourself, and not just be making these changes to be accepted and approved, or appease society or anybody in any group. Just make sure that it's coming from you, and this is what you want. It's okay to see somebody got something and then you like it and you want it, because that's exposure. That's only natural. But don't try to go get what somebody else got to get the recognition and attention that somebody else have, is what I'm saying.
Right. That's major. Like make sure, I feel like my daddy was cool. You know what I'm saying? The way he had like a certain swag about him, and that I got a lot of that swag, right? And I really realized, I left out a major part. Like I realized my cool is already really there, right? So most of the acceptance had to come from me. You know what I'm saying? Like I had to accept. Like I had to make sure who I wanted to be that when nobody was around. And then, after that, people who like that accept me. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense, right? And I guess the other, I did have a point where I wanted to be accepted, but I moved that into be personable. Into being personable. I'm sorry, right? And personal just is like really, relatable. Like, you can try to understand where people is coming from, or you learn people, really, right? Like most people go through certain things, so I know how to, when I'm talking to people, I know how to have a conversation, right? But if I can't be myself, or if I can't be who I want to be, like if I want to be a action hero, and I'm around somebody who they're not cool with me being an action hero, then that's not my crowd. That's not my person, So that's major what he's talking about. Like, make sure it comes from a place of, like, it has to be a foundational spot. Like your kid self should have wanted it as well. You know what I'm saying? And like a lot of times we lose sight of that too. It's like, imagination is for kids, when it's not. We get into the thing, we like, oh, this is the real world, and we lose our imagination.
Yes,
and that's not it's not how that's supposed to be. Because I need to imagine my future. Yeah. I need to imagine what I want my wife to be like. I need to imagine what I want my life to be like and what I want to look like. I need to imagine all those things, And the imagination starts, in your kid years, So
absolutely,
for sure, man. Make sure you accept it.
I think that's a PowerPoint. That's the actual
Yeah.
PowerPoint that you said.
Mhm.
Imagination is so important because, believe it or not, a lot of what we have or we are experiencing today is by way of our imagination.
Mhm.
I think that, like what Cool said, from a kid, we dream of doing all these different things. And I remember Kanye West saying this before, like, you know, as a kid, we have that imaginatory spirit. Like Kanye West today, as a grown man at 40 something years old or 30, whatever, he called himself a superhero in like real life serious interviews. Like, like you talking to a grown superhero, like that.
Yeah.
But you know, and people clown on him. They judge his mental health. They question his mental health. But you know, I would say he's very wise in a lot of different ways. You know what I'm saying?
Man does what he wants.
Yeah, but
he does not care what anybody says.
He literally throw a tomahawk in the screen of the Matrix. You know what I'm saying? He just kind of like he does what he want to do unapologetically. And and I admire that about Kanye, man. And I think that when we become adults, somewhere between being a kid to approaching the preteen stage, we lost value in imagination. When we were kids, we was told, like, it was cute. You know what I'm saying? When I said I wanted to be Superman or Spider-Man, I used to have Spider-Man birthday parties. I used to do the web stuff. I used to do all this funny stuff as a kid, and it was cute, right? People threw me Spider-Man parties, you know? But when at some point in time, it just wasn't really cool no more. That just wasn't what big kids did no more. Like, nobody teaches you how to continue to imagine and dream as you grow up as an adult. So now you're forced to kind of conform to the world of the things that you see, or the things that they want you to see, or that, you know, that get propagated in the media and different things. And I think now today, who we should be is being put out there for us to see, to look up to. You know what I'm saying? And opposed to us just being like, man, you know, I really want to do this. Or I want to be this. Or I want to invent this. How can I make this happen? Like we might have a thought, but then we just wash it away and go back to work. Go to work the next day. I got to go to sleep. I'm gonna turn my dreaming mind off, and I'm about to go to work. Cause I ain't got time to be planning, dreaming, and thinking about all this kind of stuff. And somewhere along the line that happened, and we lost touch with that's the true reality. Cause that's our personalized reality. Everything that we have, like I'm looking at a refrigerator right now. Like I'm looking at a laptop right now. Like this mic, like what is this? You know what I'm saying? Somebody said, okay, I want to invent this thing so that it could be used for this purpose to further civilization in some way, form, or fashion. And that's what we have. That's what we're using. And so shout out to those who still have that light bulb turned on. And I think that's something that we should think about and realize that we let go. That inner child, the inner child mind, that true power, the super mind, our super mind. So we gotta find a way to get that back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's fine, man. Like lay hold of, let go of the approval of the world and, you know, the world's stigmas and standards, and lay hold of either you, the inner you, you know, the godliness in you, which is the imagination. The real imagination is godly. You know, it's of high energy, and you know, it comes from a higher source. You know, like anything that is in our mind, like if you think it is possible, period. Right? You know, and with that foundation, think about who you want to be and let go of what everybody else wants you to be. You know what I'm saying? And let you know, a lot of times what we do too is like that current image that we have of ourselves, we start to design our life around us like that, right? You know, from the ways that I was feeling, I started dating people like that. You know, my friends was like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting positions of low energy because I think of myself as a lower god. Like I didn't ever feel like I can be the manager of anything until somebody gave me a manager position. Somebody gave me a manager position. Every job I've ever been to after that, I was no less than a manager at some point of that job, because I seen that for myself, and so I worked towards it, right? And so the thing is, like, I don't have to have the qualities now, but if I believe it, I can, you know what I'm saying? I can make it happen, you know? So it's not like, I think let's kind of kill that right there. Like, let go of the instant change, or the need to have it done tomorrow. It doesn't really work like that. You have to, your dream has to be realized, and the realization process is you working toward it and building it. You got to build you, right? You know what I'm saying? You used to have it's crazy, bro. We women especially, right? Yeah, we were getting relationships, right? They're getting relationships, and they get a guy, and they're like, okay, he never had this, so I'm gonna give him that, and I'm gonna build him up. Baby, you ain't even finished with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to build you up, right? So a lot of times we think, oh, I'm gonna build this right here, when all we needed to do is build ourselves in the first place. That's literally the start and the finish of most things, of the manifestation of most things, right? We say it all the time. It's not what we need to do or where we need to go. It's most of like 99% of it to me is who I need to become. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm like, I can't attract a healthy person if I'm not a healthy person. I can't attract a healthy job, high paying job, if I'm not a healthy, high paying person. You know what I'm saying? So let's also let go of what is that? So it's like the outside. It's like I be wanting the car to make me look like I'm rich instead of acting rich, and then the car come with a rich person. It's like external validation, right? Like, I need to. It's also like a low hanging fruit thing. Like, I'm gonna go get this and build it up. Like, why would you go and get that and build it up when you consider yourself why you don't just do that with you? Right? Okay, I didn't believe at first that. I thought if I get that, it's gonna build me up and then my life gonna be better. No. If I want my partner to communicate better, I should probably communicate better. There's no way that you can be in a relationship for a long period of time and you are a high level communicator, and that person is not it doesn't eventually become at least half of that high. Like, it doesn't work like that, right?
No, it don't.
You know what I'm saying?
It can't sustain.
You know what I'm saying? So, a lot of is also, I want to connect the things that we want in life. Like, everything starts with the you. That's the point I'm trying to get across, What I had to kind of get across to me. Like, us too, we copped the cars and you know what I'm saying, going out almost every weekend, just trying to, we were having fun back then, but there was something that was there that was like, okay, I am making I'm doing something, or I'm making some kind of progress because I'm able to go and get numbers off of Bourbon Street. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm pulling up in a nice car. Everybody feel like I'm doing good, so I must be doing good.
Yeah.
When I'm not even who I say I am.
Yeah, that's the truth.
You know what I'm saying? So a lot of that stuff has to be the symptoms. A lot of the symptoms have to be let go before we even get to the real deal, Holyfield. I gotta let some people go first. I gotta let some, like, you got that car in your garage, like, and most people won't do that. Like, you got the car in your garage that you living for. You living for that, and for you to even get up out of the hole, you really gotta go return that car back, and you won't do it.
Yeah, know that
you need to go get that car back. And you won't do it because you can't face the fact that you wasn't being who you, like, you live in a fantasy or you know what I'm saying, or a lie. And to tell you the truth, the people who would sit there and tell you or not congratulate you for moving in the right direction after you done brought that thing back and you want to live your positive life, it's already working. Them people need to go. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You let go of that, a whole lot of other stuff can get let go as well. Sometimes it's like a trickle effect. You don't even a trickle. What I'm trying to say?
Trickle effect or domino effect.
Domino effect, right? You know, like you don't even have to let go of buku stuff at a time. You just let go of that one thing. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, that's
and
the
it'll
truth,
start
man.
it'll start to go on after that. You know what I'm saying?
Now that's real spill. Cool. If I can to touch on that point before we wrap this thing up, man. Like
for sure.
something that you reminded me of is of Dave Ramsey, and something that Dave Ramsey, he probably tell like most people who calling in and they trying to get out of debt and different things, man. They got people who being 40, 50, 60, $70,000 of like auto loan debt. Then you got people who have the house be $300,000, $400,000 houses, man. He take, listen, you gotta sell a house, you gotta sell a car, you gotta sell everything, and you gotta live like no one else so that you can live like no one else. And that's his philosophy. His philosophy is getting rid of these things that's weighing you down, because you can't truly be free, or you can't have what you have going the way that you're doing it in the first place. And letting go of those things, letting go of something that you've had that gave you that status, or that, you know, gave you that confidence. It's extremely hard to let that go, because it's kind of like you giving a part of yourself back. Like, this is partially what made me. It's kind of like, what was the name of that movie with Nick Cannon? He was like lame at first, and then he kind of got popular after a while.
Love Don't Cost a Thing.
Okay, cool. And it's literally like that. It's like he was lame, and then I don't know, I can't remember what made him popular, but he had the girl when he was kind of like, he
it was
got
the
noticed,
girl
like,
that made him popular.
Oh, she made him popular.
She made him popular,
and then he got popping, and then she wasn't big enough no more. He had options now. You dig? And so you know what I'm saying? Don't let the attention, the fame, whatever that come with it make you, because that'll be the very same thing that'll break you, because nothing lasts forever. And nowadays, I mean, I didn't had a near $100,000 truck. Well, I didn't own it; I was financing it. But you know, when people ask, "Man, what happened to the truck?" I tell them, I say, "I bit off more than I could chew, and I had to let it go." You know what I'm saying? And I tell them just like that, because I'm proud, because I know it had to go, because it had to go. It's either it was gonna go, or I was gonna go with it. And it ain't make no sense for both of us to go. So you know what I'm saying? But I'm mature enough, and I'm proud enough to say that I realized that. And so, you know, I didn't, that was my version. You know, a few weeks ago we were talking about stopping the bleeding. That was one of my ways of stopping the bleeding. You know what I'm saying? Is having that holding me down. So yeah, man. Ain't nothing wrong
It sounded like you was about to say something. It sounded like you was about to say something, like the proud part, like you, that is something to be proud of.
For sure.
Somebody who can listen, like, you shouldn't be, how should I say this? I look up higher to the person who choose to stand out, rather than the person who wants to go with the crowd. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, do your own thing. Like, no one gets rewarded for the people who staying with the other people. Like, I can't even see you.
Yep.
Like, you're not even seeing, and you can't even see yourself, because you see yourself as being in the crowd. You see yourself as conforming. Like, you can't really even see yourself if you still, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you got to see everybody else too. You know what I'm saying? So be proud of yourself if you can sit there and you know, just feed off of your own energy. You're like, hey, I had to get rid of that thing. You know, most people wouldn't want to say that. You know what I'm saying? Most people still got the truck.
Yep.
Still got the truck. Damn, they're living in it. You know what I'm saying? So that's something that, you know, you overcame, man. And that's major. That's major. Yeah. That was probably one of the first steps to the beginning of the rest of your life. You know, of actually living like, that's like, you know, living is not just breathing. You know, living is learning and growing and prospering and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And we can't do that, y'all, if we still holding on to a lot of things, man. It's just, you know, we definitely do this conversation a whole lot of justice, because we can go on and on about the minute details and the different perspectives and different scenarios and the ways that we can be stuck and not know it mentally and physically, and at the end of the day, we're really holding on to something. No matter if you like in an abusive relationship, it's hard, but you're actually still holding on to something. You're holding on to the devil you know rather than the one that you don't know. You know what I'm saying? What's the worst that can happen if I leave?
Yeah.
What's the worst that can happen? You're gonna you know what I'm saying? You're gonna get lost, you're gonna be homeless. I'd rather be homeless than and still trying to find my own way than, still be getting abused by the same person. Like, do something.
Yeah.
Let go.
Different.
What's the worst that can happen? You end up in the same spot. That's the worst that can happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we're gonna let that be the bottom level because it's already bad.
Yeah, right. Right. That's the bottom level. So hey, let go to see if I go to Superstar. Let go to see what you can lay a hold of, because you can't hold that and hold your past at the same time. You know what I'm saying?
And with that being
said, too.
We just want to thank y'all for being here for the very first episode of 2025. Man, we want to thank y'all for being along with us on this journey, through this journey. And man, thank y'all for being a part of the process. Cole, you already know what it is, so you ain't got to ask what it was. Thank y'all for being the best part of the Free Will family. Thank you to everybody who is attentive and who is in attendance. And we will see you again next Friday, 8:30 Central Time on the Free Will Podcast. But don't just meet us there.
Feed us there, you heard?
Like a dog. Man, we want to thank y'all, and y'all have a phenomenal time. To the next one. Peace.